What is it that makes the Asian civilization so distinct, so resilient? It is not just geography, it is not just politics, it is time. Across Asia, cultures have evolved over thousands of years, not decades, not centuries, but millennia. And that long civilizational memory has shaped something incredibly powerful, the ability to absorb shocks, endure pain, and still continue, almost unchanged at the core. Time and again, these societies have faced external pressures, military invasions, cultural intrusions, ideological challenges. And yes, there were moments when they were overwhelmed. Armies marched in, empires fell, borders shifted. But something deeper never broke. Because in most cases, the story didn't end with conquest, it ended with absorption. The aggressor either left or slowly became part of the very civilizations they tried to dominate. That is the paradox of Asia. You may conquer land, but you rarely conquer the civilization. From the campaigns of Alexander to waves of Islamic expansion to European colonialism, Asian identities endured. They adapted, reshaped, and in many cases outlasted their challengers. And the heart of this endurance lies a quiet but formidable strength, the ability to withstand pain, for the sake of continuity. This is not just history, it's a pattern. It helps explain why powerful modern US military campaigns have struggled in Asia. Think of Vietnam, think of Afghanistan. And now the question arises, are we witnessing a similar pattern unfolding in Iran? Iran, or ancient Persia, is not just a nation state. It's a civilization that stretches back over 5,000 years. The kind of history isn't just remembered, it is lived, embedded in identity, culture, and national consciousness. Yes, Persia embraced Islam centuries ago, but it never lost its distinct civilizational character. And that distinction matters, because when external powers engage with such societies, they often misread them. They see regimes, but fail to see civilizations. For the United States, conflict like Vietnam, Afghanistan, and potentially Iran have often been approached through the lens of regime change. But the regime change is a political objective. Civilizational resistance is something far deeper. Vietnam and Afghanistan have already shown the limits of military power when faced with deeply rooted societies. And Iran may well be another example in the making. There's also a difference in strategic temperament. Historically, empires like the British played a long game. They observed, adapted, and waited, sometimes for over a century, before consolidating control. India, for instance, wasn't colonized overnight. It took nearly 150 years. Powers like the US, however, often lack that patience. There's a belief, perhaps misplaced, that military superiority alone can deliver lasting outcomes. But against societies with strong sons of soil identities, that assumption tends to collapse. There's another factor too, memory. Civilizations remember. Nations built on shorter historical timelines sometimes don't. Years ago, a Russian diplomat reportedly remarked that the United States tends to have a short strategic memory. Whether one agrees or not, recent events do raise questions. Take Ukraine. From the Russian perspective, history did not begin in 1991. And when the moment seemed right, Russia acted, drawing from a civilizational narrative that spans over 1,000 years. And once again, we are reminded civilizations think in centuries, not election cycles. Which brings us back to Iran. Is the trajectory we are seeing today truly new? Or is it another chapter in the familiar pattern where external intervention underestimates the depth of civilizational resilience? Perhaps the larger lesson is this: US strategies that may work in regions with fragmented or relatively recent political histories, such as the parts of Latin America or Africa, do not easily translate to Asia, or even to the parts of Europe with deep historical roots. Because in these regions, you're not just dealing with governments, you're dealing with civilizations. And civilizations endured.